All right, last thing I want to talk about here is Lamar Jackson and what could be a divorce coming between the Baltimore Ravens and their star quarterback. He posted this on Instagram the other day. This is courtesy of PFF. When you have something good, you don't play with it. You don't take chances losing it. You don't neglect it. When you have something good, you pour into it. You appreciate it, because when you take care of something good, that good thing takes care of you too. Seems like a quote for a guy who is not in healthy negotiations with his team. Are you looking at this as the beginning of the end to Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens?
Well, I think it could be read one of three ways, or I guess
Three ways.
Well, yeah, okay. So I think it could be read as he just likes Baltimore, and he is the one investing in Baltimore because he thinks it's a good situation and he likes it there and he wants to stay there. So he is maybe thinking about taking a pay cut or whatever, and wants Baltimore to be able to invest in the team around him.
Okay.
Or he's calling him out and saying, "You're the one not investing in me, and this is I deserve this much money, and if you're not willing to give that to me, then that's your fault."
Okay.
The other thing is he could just have a life outside of football, and this could just be a throwaway post that we are reading too much into it.
Do you think it is a throwaway post? Do you really? Because sometimes I feel like people are in our stance. Like, we have a pretty good, me and you have pretty good vision on what's nonsense and what's, even if we do push some nonsense on here sometimes, mostly me, we have a pretty good vision on what's BS and what's not. Do you think you think that third one's real, or you think in your head?
I think there's more than a 20% chance that's what it is.
Okay.
The timing's like hard to ignore, of course. I'd never want to discount the fact that, like, I don't know, maybe Lamar's like not thinking about his work. That's like entirely possible. But like I said, the timing is it's tough to ignore. And also, I do think he is kind of like, if I was him, I'd like call out the Ravens too, and I'd do it in kind of petty ways too. Like, I'm one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm young. I am dynamic. I am the reason. I'm the catalyst for basically everything that this offense does. Why aren't you willing to pay for what my talent is worth? And if you think you can do that on the cheap, then I'll go somewhere. I'll go someplace that actually does. Like, if I was him, that's kind of what I would think, and that's what I would like. The idea that the Ravens would lowball him or like drag out these negotiations at all makes no sense to me. He's what is he the best quarterback in their franchise's history already? Like,
he's got to be.
Right, like,
gotta be.
Why?
They won Super Bowls with Joe Flacco and Trent Dilfer.
Right, like, why? Like, what is the big deal here? Why are you giving him the runaround? It's a little ridiculous to me.
No, I look at it. I agree. If Deshaun Watson's going to get $250 million fully guaranteed, Lamar Jackson deserves some money. I don't know if Lamar Jackson's sitting there saying, I want $250 million guaranteed, because at that point you're being ridiculous, especially because he can't stay healthy. And I think the Ravens do have an argument that in big games, Lamar is usually not there because he's dealing with something. But at the same time, like, is that Lamar Jackson's fault, or is that the fact that the Baltimore Ravens are relying on 87-year-old Deshaun Watson to be their star wide receiver because they put zero effort into investing into Lamar Jackson? They just say, hey, well, he can run the football, so let's always run the football. Like, no, get him a weapon. The dude could throw the football 80 yards on a dime. Go get him a wide receiver. He doesn't have any of those. So I think that the Ravens have done a very, very poor job of putting back into Lamar Jackson. At the same time, though, injury history is a real thing. Mobile quarterbacks are a real thing. I'm not handing him $250 million and saying this is yours, and I feel very confident in that. But if you're not giving him somewhere close, I mean, that's on you. That's on
and
you.
It's fine if you don't want to give him that much money, but just know that someone else is.
Someone's gonna, 100%.
Right, like,
somebody's gonna.
You got to be comfortable losing him if you're not willing to pay the price for what his talent is worth. Like,
yeah, 100%. And you're gonna give him.
No, go ahead.
So you're gonna let him go hit the open market. He's gonna get paid $250 million, and he's immediately gonna be on a better team.
Right.
Immediately gonna be on a better. You could put him in Detroit. He's on a 10 times better offense than what the Baltimore Ravens have.
Oh yeah, well Detroit cooks with Jared Goff. Like they'll be
Exactly.
fine with anyone. I did see the I don't know the I think it was like Locked On NFL tweeted that the Patriots were the odds-on favorite to
Oh gosh,
to sign
that would be the
Lamar.
worst. That would be amazing. Yeah.
Bill I've heard for years about how Bill Belichick just loves mobile quarterbacks and how he's always wanted one, and just I don't know how true that is because every time he actually has a chance to sign one, he never does. But
Billy's
I just
happy.
thought that was
Bailey's
funny.
happy, baby.
Mhm.
Mobile quarterback.
Good God.
Lamar to New England would be the worst possible. I'd rather him go to I don't know.
That's the other thing, just like the odds that he stays in the AFC and like gives you hell for.
Oh, it's going to be
however many-
real. It's going to be
Right.
very real. And that's you're escaping the Baltimore Ravens. Awesome. Cool. I'd much rather, if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'd much rather Lamar Jackson be in the AFC North in Baltimore than literally anywhere else, except for Houston. You want to send him to Houston, that's totally fine. Any other team in the AFC immediately turns into a Super Bowl contender. Like immediately. You could put him on the Jets, Super Bowl contender. The Raiders, Super Bowl contender. Denver, Super Bowl contender. Literally any Tennessee, Super Bowl contender. Indianapolis, maybe. I don't know about that one.
I don't
maybe
think
not.
so.
Maybe not
I don't think
Indianapolis.
so.
But outside of those two teams, like that's just it's so dangerous. It's gonna get so dangerous. And Baltimore, like you could say what you want, but Baltimore is not built to win a Super Bowl. They're built with a great defense, and the Steelers have proven they could beat them. They've proven they could beat them with Lamar Jackson. So I would, if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm hoping he gets a deal done, sticks it out, and they continue to sign Sammy Watkins in week 15 and say, this guy is going to save our season heading into the playoffs, because it is the worst philosophy in football, but it works all the time. All the time. Yeah, I agree. We'll see what happens.